Gary, one hell of a second half performance from your team today. Conceded late on, but you must still be so proud of your team.
Yeah, really proud of the reaction, really proud of the commitment they showed second half. They played on the front foot, they were aggressive. I felt like in the first half we were far too passive. There was too much doubt in how we were going to go and win the game. Second half there was no doubt and we looked like a different team. Probably could have won the game, but in the end I think delighted with the point. It's another point towards the total. We've got 9 big games to go. We have to show that commitment and that endeavour and that desire that we showed second half and the remaining 9 games, because when we do, we look like a really good team.
Went into the break 1 down, got put under a lot of pressure from Bolton, but for large parts of that first half, defended very well.
Yeah, defended our box well. I think we could have been much better in how we pressed higher. We weren't aggressive enough. We didn't commit to the plan that we set out to do. Bolton give you a huge problem by how many men they put on the last line. They play with 2 wing-backs, 2 number 9s and 2 8s that play really wide. Today we wanted Zach to jump from centre-half, which is something we've never done before, but the quality Bolton have, the physicality they have, I think Magoma's an outstanding player. We felt like that was the way to go against it, and I think first half there was just a little bit uncertainty, and when you give good teams 1-2 yards of space, they can hurt you. Second half, they didn't get that space. We were much more front foot. We were much more aggressive in the duels. We gave fouls away, but good fouls where we're trying to win the ball. And I think we looked like a different team. And at 2-1, we had the best chances to go 3-1, maybe 4-1. And that was the disappointing thing. And then obviously late on, they're always going to come at you because they're such a good team. They have so many players on the bench. They can make changes, positive changes. And it was unfortunate we conceded late. But it's a big point. It's another point to our total. We must recover and go again Tuesday.
I'm not sure what you said to the players at half-time, but I'm not even sure you could have imagined a start to the second half quite like that.
No, look, I think at half-time there's always doubt. As a manager, as a coach, me and Kev had kind of a disagreement at half-time at what it was. Do we change it or do we commit more to the plan? And there's times when we have to look at ourselves and we have to maybe change the tactical plan, but I felt like the players just weren't committing to it and they were 1 or 2 yards off where we wanted them to be. Now, I'm not going to take all the credit for the half-time because the goal changes our belief, changes our outlook on the game, changes the stadium atmosphere, but the commitment for the players to go that extra yard for me was the big thing. We didn't change anything tactically. Nothing changed. So the players' mentality and how they went about it changed. And that is the big positive that I think they have to take forward into the 9 remaining games.
We've joked with Sonny a little bit that the 3 goals he scored had all been tap-ins from close range. I mean, 2 unbelievable goals from Sonny this afternoon.
Yeah, he's definitely added to his distance in terms of goals. They were top quality finishes. The first one, the composure, because you know what you have to do. But it's one thing knowing what you have to do, it's another thing actually doing it in the heat of the moment in front of the big bank. It was an outstanding finish, and like I said, I thought that gave us real impetus and belief in the game. The second one, for me, I don't think you see a better goal from a number 9 at this level. The way he ran, we spoke a lot about on the counter-attack, where Santos wants to step in and be aggressive because he's a physical defender, and Sonny's movement to drop deep and then make that run in behind. He then has to run away from them, but he then has to open up the angle. The way he shifts inside and outside to open up the angle, and when I say angle, it's a very small angle, and his strike in terms of his power and his precision was top level. So he can be delighted with his day's work in terms of the goals, but also his out of possession work, the way he controlled Sheehan for the time he was on the pitch was outstanding. So we're delighted we've signed him up because he would have been very much sought after those 2 goals. But I think he's in the right place for his career, for his development, and I think he'll score a lot more goals in red and white.
Not a bad way to celebrate a new contract, is it? I know managers don't always like to single out players for praise when it's a fantastic team performance, but 2 other players that really stood out for me today, Will Aimson and Jack Aitchison. Will was a brick wall at times, and it was great to see Jack back on the pitch as well.
Yeah, I thought Will first half was probably our best player. I think his speed on the turn and any ball in behind, I thought he was brilliant. He's 1v1 defending. He was very aggressive. and he's had a difficult period. So for him to have that performance and to get the acknowledgement of the crowd when he came off, I thought was really good. And Jack, Jack always puts a shift in. First half, even he, it's not often I have a go at Jack, but I was so disappointed that even he was a yard or two off it in second half. The energy he showed, he then went from wide right to 10, from 10 to 6, and his adaptability, his commitment, and his energy he gives to this team is brilliant.
And just finally, great to see you wearing the Mind Over MND hoodie today. Of course, Pete Evely from the Community Trust visited us last week at the training ground, and it's nice to see the brand on show.
Yeah, Pete Evely came in with his family last week, and it was, I'll be honest, it was really difficult to see him the way he was, to see his wife and his child, 4-year-old child. So it's the least I can do, the club can do, to try and help support him and to help support the charity. It's a fantastic charity. It's a terrible disease that's obviously affecting someone that's very close to the football club. So the least I can do.
Thanks so much, Gary.